Remember back when you were young, you and your buddies ran around with sticks and pine cones acting as if they were guns and grenades? You were literally at war with your neighbors. My friends and I loved to play war. Diving on the ground, planning an attack, then going in for the kill. There was no better game to play. Paintball has become the way we relive those battles on a larger and more realistic scale. Paintball has been around since the 1980s and has shown to be one of the fastest growing sports in America. To be able to get started in the game, there are a few pieces of gear that you need, like paintballs, the gun, and safety gear. Let's first take a look at the most important part of the game, the paintball. The paintball is what the sport is centered on, much like other sports like football and basketball. The exception is, instead of only having one ball in play, paintball has several, and most of them are flying at your head at the same time. The construction of a paintball is very similar to a gel cap. The non-toxic biodegradable paint is encased in a gelatin capsule. This capsule only weighs a few grams and is 0.68 inches in diameter. Paintball itself is pretty resilient, being able to withstand the stress of being fired out of a gun and not break when dropped from a short distance. Now that we know about the paintball, let's see how we fire it. The paintball gun, or sometimes called a marker, itself works pretty much the same way as any gun works by loading a projectile into a chamber and then firing that projectile out of a barrel. In a basic paintball gun, the propellant is a compressed gas. Usually carbon dioxide, nitrogen, or ordinary air have been used to fire a paintball at speeds up to 300 feet per second. 300 feet per second is usually the strictly regulated max speed because the likelihood of serious injury is lessened. The paintball gun is fed by what is called a hopper. Standard hoppers can hold about 150 to 200 paintballs. To load the paintball gun, a cocking mechanism feeds the paintball out of the hopper into the chamber where it is fired out of the barrel. Now that we have our weapons and our ammo, we have to know how to protect ourselves in the unlikely event that we get shot. There are a few pieces of safety equipment that are a must. The paintball mask is a vital piece of gear when playing paintball. The mask protects your entire face from taking a paintball shot. The mask is basically a pair of goggles with a plastic shield that cover your forehead and your lower face. There are many add-ons that could be used with a paintball mask. A visor can be placed on the mask to reduce the glare on the plastic lens, as well as a fan be placed inside that can cool the player as well as minimize fogging of the lens. Another important piece of safety gear is the neck and chest protector. These devices are made of plastic material with a piece of cushioning to protect from a paintball impact. Both of these pieces of safety gear can protect from bruising. Since paintball is basically a game of simulated war, there's a lot of crawling around on the ground. Depending on the type of surface you're playing on, some of them can be quite treacherous to the body. Having knee and shin pads will help protect you from the ground while diving onto it to avoid a paintball shot. To get into paintball, it may seem as though it takes a lot of equipment to get into the sport, but let me tell you, it's worth it. Buying the paintballs, the gun, safety equipment will take you right back to the battlefields of old, when sticks and pine cones were all that we had.